You don't even notice when it starts. You laugh a little differently, speak a little softer, hide certain opinions. Not because someone told you to, but because something inside you said, this version of me will be accepted. And slowly, without realizing it, you begin to change. So the question isn't just, why do we try to fit in? It's, why does your brain sometimes choose acceptance over authenticity? Fitting in doesn't feel like losing yourself, at least not at first. It feels like adapting, blending in, avoiding awkwardness. You mirror how people speak. You filter what you say. You adjust your reactions. And most of the time, it works. You feel included, accepted, part of something. But over time, something subtle shifts. You hesitate before expressing your real thoughts. You replay conversations afterward. You wonder which version of you people actually know. And eventually, a quiet discomfort appears. Am I being myself or just being accepted? Here's the important shift. This behavior isn't weakness. It's survival. Your brain is wired to prioritize belonging. Because for most of human history, belonging meant survival. Being part of a group meant safety, resources, protection. Being excluded meant risk. So your brain developed a system that constantly asks, am I accepted here? And if the answer feels uncertain, it adjusts your behavior. Not to fake who you are, but to increase the chances of staying connected. This is known as social adaptation, and it's deeply human. But this leads to a deeper question. Why does this adaptation sometimes go too far? Your brain uses something called the social monitoring system. It constantly scans for signals like facial expressions, tone of voice, reactions to what you say. If it detects even small signs of disapproval, it activates the threat response. Not physical danger, but social danger. And the brain treats social rejection very seriously. In fact, studies show that social rejection activates similar brain regions as physical pain. So your brain tries to prevent that pain. How? By adjusting your behavior in real time. A mental model for this is the social mirror. You unconsciously reflect the environment you're in. Different group, different version.
Different expectations, different expression. This isn't fake, it's adaptive. But when the brain relies too heavily on external feedback, you lose connection with internal signals. Your preferences, your opinions, your natural reactions. And over time, identity becomes flexible to the point of confusion. Which is why you might feel comfortable in groups, but unclear about who you are alone. The goal isn't to stop adapting, it's to stay connected to yourself while doing it. 1. Notice when you shift. Awareness is the first step. Pay attention to moments when you change your tone, hold back opinions, agree without meaning it. Example, you're in a conversation and feel the urge to agree quickly. Pause and notice it. This activates self-awareness, reducing automatic behavior. 2. Identify the fear behind it. Behavior changes are usually driven by fear. Example, if I say what I really think, they might judge me. Once you identify the fear, it becomes visible. And visible fears lose some of their control. 3. Express small pieces of your real self. You don't need to suddenly become fully unfiltered. Start small. Example, share a genuine opinion, disagree politely, speak honestly in low-risk situations. This helps your brain learn that authenticity doesn't always lead to rejection. 4. Build internal reference points. If your identity depends entirely on external feedback, it will constantly shift. So create internal anchors. Example, know what you value, what you enjoy, what you believe. This strengthens self-concept clarity, making you less dependent on external validation. 5. Accept that not everyone will relate. One of the reasons people over-adapt is to avoid rejection. But rejection is part of authenticity. Example, you express yourself honestly. Some people connect more, some connect less. This is not failure, it's alignment. Psychologically, this reduces the need for constant adjustment. When you step back, something becomes clear. Changing yourself to fit in isn't random. It's your brain trying to avoid rejection, maintain connection, stay safe. But when adaptation becomes constant, you lose track of the original version of yourself. The goal isn't to stop fitting in, it's to fit in without disappearing.
There's a quiet balance to this. You are allowed to adapt, to grow, to shift depending on where you are. But you're also allowed to remain recognizable to yourself. Because belonging shouldn't require you to disappear. And the right kind of connection won't ask you to become someone else to keep it. It will meet you where you already are.